Hi, guys. This is Jamie from the Gray Area Podcast,
I'm Mallory.
and we're just going to do a quick introduction and kind of talk about why we're starting the podcast and what we'll, be discussing. So, yeah. So, why did you want to hop in on the podcast?
Well, you got really into aliens and conspiracies after the Las Vegas thing,
Yeah.
and we just started going back and forth with it, and then you started discovering a bunch of stuff, and
Yeah.
I had already kind of been into it, and then we were just like, sure, let's do this. Plus, we wanted to do like a podcast on something for a while.
Right. And well, yeah, you had been into like the spiritual side of it for a while. And yeah, that I mean I was always into I always liked the idea of aliens, but
Yeah.
my understanding of what was going on was limited to like I watched documentaries like the Roswell crash, and I remember my mom telling me when I was younger, Roswell was real, right? I'm like, okay. Um but it was interesting. It excited me. So that I watched other documentaries about, different UFO incidents, but I just didn't realize that this was an ongoing thing or that there was actual like evidence and stuff. I didn't
Ever
realize.
since the government came out, it's like one of those I'll see it when I believe it type things. Like I always like I'm sure there are. That doesn't shock me.
Yeah.
And now it's more of like, oh, okay, maybe not everyone's crazy.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I feel like I just didn't realize it was as tangible as it's turning out to be. It's
Yes.
more like, I think there's life out there, but we're never going to know about it. With Roswell, I was like, maybe some, civilization did reach it out here and they crashed, and that was a once in a lifetime kind of thing. And who knows if ever it will happen again. So I just didn't realize there was so much to the topic. Um, Evidence.
I always thought if anything that it would be like I got abducted or I saw something and then I'd be one of those people that was always like, it's real, but I don't think I ever imagined like a government
Government
confirming a
and
bunch of things and yeah and yeah, so that's why it's still kind of like, oh, okay.
yeah, well, and then with the Vegas thing, that really triggered me because I was always interested, but I believe that family. I know
I
some people
remember
were
you were
like,
like, why is no one talking about
I was
this?
so mad. Like, why the fuck aren't you talking about this? Because I believe that family. That would have been like, I don't know, that would have been a very elaborate hoax for them to play. Um,
Yes, and I think that they'd all have to be really good actors.
Really good actors, and they're not out here, busting out interviews trying to get all over the, TV and everything. So I
Yeah.
definitely believe them. And then
We
right
don't
up,
want to just talk about aliens though,
no, no,
right?
no, no, no. It's like conspiracy. I do want to touch on social issues too. Um,
Yeah.
and, name of the podcast being Gray Area. It's because I'm just really, 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 really tired of seeing people who have podcasts who promote like really radical, extreme views,
Either far left or far right,
far
and
left.
most people are like us, if we felt
Yeah,
that are
there's a
just kind of
fucking
like
middle
there's
area. Yeah,
exactly the
there's
gray area.
the gray area. There's a fucking middle ground, and you see people like I don't know her last name, but that redheaded bitch or girl, that redheaded girl, the Pearl. Her name is Pearl, and she's the one
Oh
posting about
yes.
women shouldn't be voting, women shouldn't dress like this, blah 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 blah. And
Some of those I'm like, I can't, it's so
well, what
like you
triggers me
can't
the
actually believe this, like for real,
she
dude.
doesn't,
Like, but they
she doesn't, because what triggers me the fuck triggers me so badly about her is she says these things and she doesn't even live by her own beliefs. She votes. She says women shouldn't be speaking and blah, blah, blah. She runs a fucking platform running her mouth,
Yeah.
you know, just all
Yeah.
these things she says about women, she does not live by them, those rules. And she's even, I've seen her commenting on her threads. She's like, well, I've already acknowledged that, I don't, follow some of the things that I say. But I'm like, bitch, you don't follow any of the
So
things you
stop
say. What are
preaching
you
about
talking?
it.
So stop preaching about it. You lecture women, married women, mothers about what they should and shouldn't be doing, what they should or shouldn't be saying. And you're not a mother. You're not married. As far as I know, she's not even in a relationship. So I don't know.
Uh,
Can you still hear
yes,
me?
that and yes.
Okay, good.
And then also we want to touch on the like Mandela effect. Mandela effect, Mandela effect, Mandela
Mandela
effect,
effect. Mandela effect. Yeah.
Mandela.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
want to touch on Mandela effect. And
mhm.
I feel like there's a whole bunch of them and there's new ones and
Dude,
it's just like fun.
I got so mad the other day, because I think I messaged you about it, the Toy Story thing.
Yes. And I can't say yes or no to that one because I just don't remember that part.
It gets me so angry. When Woody starts talking
Guess
to
I do
Sid,
when you say it. I guess I do only hear just Sid.
yeah, just so he's talking to Sid, he goes, "That's right, I'm talking to you, Sid Phillips." That doesn't even fucking sound right. When I was younger, I specifically remember that, yeah, that's right, I'm talking to you, Sid. That's how he said it. There
Yeah.
was no
That
Sid
sounds more
Phillips.
that sounds more right, I guess. That sounds more right to me is
Because
just
I,
ending it Sid. I didn't know Sid had a last name or that it was Phillips.
no, and I even said it to Gil. Gil is my husband, but I even said it to him. He was like, yeah, no. He's like, no, he didn't say Sid Phillips. He's like, that doesn't even fucking sound right. I'm like, I know. So yeah, I
It
definitely,
doesn't sound right.
at all. So I definitely want to touch on that as well. So in general, social issues, conspiracy theories, I will go off on tangents about uh,
Spirituality.
spirituality, UFOs, which I think there is a connection there, more so than people realize.
That's gonna be like a multi-episode.
Oh, it's going to be a lot to talk because there's so much going on with it right now. And I was
Yeah.
saying, yeah, the Vegas thing kind of triggered me, but it was right after the Vegas thing that I stumbled across the whole David Grush thing, the whistleblower who came out. And that, after hearing about the Las Vegas thing, and then right after seeing Grush, his interview on News Nation, and everything he was blowing the whistle on, my mind was literally fucking blown because I'm like, how nobody is talking about this? How is no one talking about this? How is this not a big
Yeah.
deal?
Yeah.
And so that was driving me crazy. And of course, that sent me, I've been on a rabbit hole for like a while now.
Bledsoe.
Bledsoe, I've been binging just so much information, so much information. Um, right after I saw the David Grush interview, then I stumbled on Greer's press conference that he just did, which they happened back to back. So the timing of that is very odd to me, but we will go into stuff like that, in the episodes where we specifically discuss that. So yeah, it's just been a lot of information coming out and I've definitely been on a binge. It's definitely something I'm passionate about. I think I scared my husband for a little bit. He's like, "Are you okay? Is that
That's why
family,
you
that
say
genetic mental illness
here.
finally kicking in? Are you good?" I'm
Here you go.
okay. I can
Whereas
distinguish.
I'm just like big and pregnant and have had a horrible pregnancy. And my husband was like, thank God, do something, please.
Do something with yourself.
And your husband's like, rant about this online, please, not to
Yeah,
me.
he's like, you're smart, you talk really well, you got a lot of opinions, fucking do something with it. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're right. Let
Hmm.
me
And
try
also,
something.
we've been friends for 17 plus years where we go back and forth really well with each other, also because, ADHD. So,
Not, oh my God. Yeah. I think people are gonna already see a glimpse of that with this. Shit, that's my earbud. Hold on. Ah, where'd it go? Well, I guess I only need one.
I only have one.
Okay. Um, so yeah, that's kind of everything we're going to be talking about. We have been friends for 17 years, which we're like kind of dating ourselves there, I feel like,
We met
but
when we were very young.
very young. And I don't know. Yeah, I just want to call people out who are doing that shit. So it's not going to be all
Yes.
rainbows and sunshine. I'm very opinionated. I do have a temper.
No.
What really disgusts me is seeing people like cater to like these extremist groups and like having that shit spread. Because what'll happen, again, using Pearl as an example, a man has a bad experience in a relationship, has a bad experience with a woman. That woman probably didn't treat him well. And he comes across, instead of taking the time to heal in a healthy way, he comes across content like fucking pearls, and it validates all the
Or
anger he
incels.
has.
Have you gotten into that at all?
Yes, but it validates that anger that he has at that
Hmm.
moment. And so instead of healing, looking at it logically, realizing that this is not all women, this is not going to be your experience every time, what he does is like that fucking validates what I'm feeling. It validates what that bitch did to me. And
Uh-huh.
other people are seeing this too. And so it must be all women doing this. And now
That's
you
the
have
same
this
with the far
seed.
left and the far right. They're
Yeah,
angry about whoever got, you know, elected. And so they find a bunch of stuff that fits their narrative
right,
and takes it as 100% truth when
right,
it's not.
right.
There is
No,
no like
there,
one right way.
no. And the thing is, even with views I don't agree with, people where they're coming from with those views, there's element of truth to it. That is how they perceive their reality. And that's just how it is. And we all have different, I guess, versions of reality. Um, but we all have to live in the same space. So there are ways to meet each other in the middle. And I'm just so sick of people like her. Like, I don't know what that fucking guy's name is. He's got the big ears. He's kind of bald. He has that podcast
Oh,
always talking about women,
here's the
this.
one that he got arrested,
Oh, did he?
I believe, for rape, maybe?
No, that's
SA?
Tate, not Andrew Tate.
Yes.
But
But he also
he's fucking
big ears,
awful.
bald head, right?
Yeah, I think his views and what he says is completely
He's
awful.
the worst.
Right. But there's another guy, I think it's Myron. I don't know. I'll send you a picture after we're done. But he's like the male version of Pearl. But then you do have feminists, extreme feminists, and that stuff drives me crazy too. All men.
Which
It is
isn't
all
even
men,
real feminism.
which isn't even real feminism. You have the crowd, it's all men, it's all this.
And I can
And
get into that.
yeah, and then they talk down to women who stay at home with their kids. Some of them talk down to women for having babies. And it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
you're not a feminist. It sounds like you hate men and you hate women who love men, apparently, because
Hmm.
I'm stay at home right now and um, I expect my
Well,
husband to treat
I'm
me as
not,
an
but even then,
equal.
you've got a horde of children, you're a stay-at-home mom. I'm not a stay-at-home mom, but I am like on my third and I'm married and we have very similar issues, or not issues, but
But
views
yeah,
on, marriage and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that like we
yeah,
see each other as one better than the other.
no, and no, I, my existence in this world is not less significant than a man's. We are not equal. I don't think men and women are equal in the sense of we're not physically as
No,
strong and things like that. That's stuff like that's common sense.
there are
But we are
differences,
right.
but as
Exactly.
far as morally, ethically, and financially, as
As a
far as
human
two
being, we
people
are
doing the same
equal.
exact job, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, and equal pay, morally, ethically, we should be equal.
Right.
As far
Exactly.
as equal being like the
That
same physically and mentally, no.
no. And that being said, I will submit to my man in certain ways. The same way he submits to me in certain ways. Like, and that's the other thing. You hear them going on about you don't submit to a man and blah, 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 blah. You guys submit to each other. Like
Exactly.
you're
You submit to your partner,
to
and
your
I don't
partner.
like that
It's
it's always focused on the woman being submissive and the man being dominant, where
it's
it really is kind of both are being submissive and
both are
both are
being
being dominant
submissive to their
in
partner.
different ways.
He spoils me. He has to cater to me. He has to deal with my shit, my femininity, and that stuff is probably really frustrating and annoying for a man. And he gives that part and caters to
It's
what I need. And
anything that they don't understand is frustrating and annoying
yeah,
because they like to fix. And if
yeah,
they don't see a solution to something, then it frustrates and annoys them and doesn't make sense to them. But
right,
that's because their brains are like waffles.
yeah,
They like they have like their little syrup. Each little
yeah,
waffle square is a category. And so
right,
they can only go one category at a time, and women are spaghetti, whereas everything is intertwined for us.
right.
And we've
But
got like multiple tabs open. Not one
yeah,
is better than the other. They just work differently.
right. And we expect them to, there are things that they may perceive as irrational that are important to us and vice versa. But what I see from those extreme feminists is like I'm not your mommy. I'm not, da 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 da, this and that and the other. Okay, I get it. But at the same
To an
time, he's
extent,
not,
yes.
he's not my daddy, but he takes care of me in ways that I need to be taken care of as a
Yeah.
woman. And he
And it
needs to
also
be taken care
depends
of in different
on
ways
the
as a man.
exactly. And it also depends on like what type of like I'm not your mommy type of thing. Like, am I gonna take care
Yeah,
of my husband when he's sick, like and bring him stuff? Yes.
right.
Um, am I probably gonna make his doctor's appointments? Mostly, yes. But
Yeah,
I don't
I
feel it
understand.
doesn't feel like a maid. It doesn't feel like
Mm-mm.
I'm like treated poorly. I'm not.
No,
And honestly,
but
when
I've
it's
seen
stuff
them.
that I just don't want to do, I just like if I feel like I shouldn't have to do that, we'll have a conversation about it, or I just don't do it. And I'm like, hey, will you grab this and put it in there? And he does. So like,
Yeah. But no, I've
it's
seen
not.
them get mad of like women saying, I do this for my husband, I do that for my husband. And they're like, it's like it grosses them out. And I'm like, why? Why you expect like a wife to not do anything for her husband, but he's supposed to make
I
sure she's taken care of in all these ways? And it's like, it's again,
well,
it's
I think
balance.
also I think it's people that if that's like kind of how you are newly in a relationship, that's a turn off for women
Yeah.
because it doesn't show that you're able to, you know,
No, if you
provide
expect it right off the
or
bat,
take care of yourself. So why would I trust you to take care of
right.
me
No,
as well?
these things are
But
earned on
I
both
think a lot of
sides.
people speak on that, like from when they're not in a relationship, or if someone does that like too early in a relationship. Whereas, like, no, that's not like right off the bat. It's like,
No,
cook
yeah,
and
that's a
clean for
turn
me
off.
and da da da. So it's like a lot
Just
of
like
it's
you
just
see
like
women saying
perspective.
like you can't take me here for my first date and they're expecting some like 4-star restaurant. I'm like I think that's rightfully a turn off for men because it's like why am I
Yeah,
going to drop like 300 plus dollars on someone that I'm barely just meeting? You can go somewhere that's not fucking McDonald's but is not fucking like, you know what I mean? So
there's plenty of medium
yeah,
restaurants.
again, there's
And
there
if that's I mean, but if that's the type of person that you want, then you need to only really go after people that can provide that and not get mad when, you're with a dude that's in like middle management and expecting a, $500 a plate restaurant.
yeah, it's ridiculous and you shouldn't be putting anyone down for not
No,
agreeing that that's what they should be doing. So again,
no.
there's always some element of truth to these arguments, but this whole
Mhm.
it's just
They
I'm so
take
sick
it
of it.
and they run with it.
They take it, they run with it, they do too much for it. It's like I'm going to say this explosive thing that causes more chaos and division and argumenting or arguments and fighting, whatever, because it's going to get me a lot of clicks, it's going to get me a lot of views, and it's like you're disgusting because with everything going
You're
on,
done.
you're done. Because with everything going on in the world right now, I feel like that's the last fucking thing we need. We need more logical people to come out. We need people to start acknowledging, hey, yeah, maybe I wasn't so right when I said that, and maybe you have a point with what you're saying. So what if we did this or what, figure it the fuck out, start coming in the middle. I'm not trying to sound all kumbaya, but yeah, figure it the fuck out. You don't have to verbally abuse each other and go to such extremes. It's just not
Because
doing
we
any
all have
good.
to share this planet.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So what's the fucking
we
point?
do need to like, what happened to like agree to disagree? Like,
Agreed. I've been saying that a lot on Twitter, and I've been getting more active on UFO Twitter in particular because me
yes,
and
you've been doing
aliens.
great on that. So what's our Twitter handle?
Uh, the Gray Area podcast. I think it's just flat out Gray Area podcast. And I've been trying to get.
And
I've been
was it our
watching.
emails, our gray area podcast?
Yes, and I'm gonna post all of that stuff too. But
Cool.
I've been watching, silently in the background in that space for a while, and just now getting more brave um, to speak up on some things. And I've already pissed some people off. I've been blocked twice already. Now, the first
Oh,
person, I know, and that's the crazy thing because I'm not even yelling at people. I'm not cursing at them. I'm not telling them they're stupid. I'm just questioning what, I guess
that's what you should be doing.
their beliefs are.
Everything.
Yeah. And, so
We're
that
not
person,
believing every alien thing that we read. You question that one dude, and he is that one of the ones that blocked you?
that's the one from today. But the first one who did, he came back and apologized. We still follow each other. And I thought that is what I love to see. And I acknowledged that I understood his point of view where he was coming from. And I thought that was fucking awesome because it's exactly what we need. That is exactly what we need. So I give him props. I give him kudos because not a lot of guys would do that. So that was pretty fucking cool. But the second guy, yeah, he's the one I was telling you has a fuck ton of followers. And
He
he's
deleted
talking,
the thread too, where you like kind of
yeah,
not proved him wrong, but like
no,
it made it
because,
seem weird why he wouldn't look into something.
yeah, because to me it was weird. So I asked him about it and when I asked him about it on his thread, and I elaborated why I felt it was relevant to all these claims he's making, he deleted it and I left him alone. Now I did post something on my Twitter talking about, I think it's odd that these people claiming that they're channeling this information and blah, blah, blah. None of them have really spoken on the Bledsoe situation and some of them seem to actively avoid it. And I had a conversation with, another girl who's in that space and she has a podcast. She's pretty cool. And we just had a quick little conversation about it and that was that. And then someone else tagged him on my post. And so he then came to my post and started, rambling on about it. And so I was honest and told him how I felt. And I did feel that it was odd. He was avoiding it. I felt it was odd. He deleted my comment. He has contradicted himself before. He's been caught doing it. He posted about, someone asked him about the MH370 plane videos. I've showed it to you before.
Oh
Um,
yes, I've seen documentary on that. That's just wild.
and someone took a screenshot of his comment and he said it was inauthentic. But now if you go to his page, he has a whole section on MH370 and how those orbs were Pleiadians gathering the souls of the people on board who had passed and just all this stuff. And so I commented that because he also said that Pleiadians made the vaccine safe for people. And, with people have had complications from it and
I
he
remember you
deleted that
telling me
post.
that.
Yeah, he deleted that post and he also deleted the person's comment because that person posted a picture of him claiming that it was inauthentic. And so when I brought that up, that's when he really fucking went off. And that's when he really went off and
How dare
he
you call me
deleted
out on my
and blocked me.
contradictions?
Huh?
How dare you call me out on my contradictions?
Yeah, and then people who follow him on my post getting upset or frustrated with me and like asking me, "What is your problem?" I'm like, "You would think I'm fucking like ripping this dude to shreds." I am asking questions that if these claims are real, he should be able to defend himself on. Like it shouldn't be a big deal, right? Something with the Bledsoe situation with this man's claims. If I were him, I would be like, "Wow, that's something I really need to look into." But he actively avoided it. And some people are like, well, you expect him to know of every, human contact with, an alien. And
You didn't even say that.
I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But the fact that he posts random videos and pictures of UFOs, and apparently he knows who the occupants are, where the fuck they come from, why they're here, what they were doing in that time. He knows all that information. But He knows nothing about the Chris Bledsoe situation, and
Well,
he
even if he didn't, the fact that he didn't
and
want to look into it and just said
completely tried
it's
to
not
block it
even worth
out.
looking
Deleted
into.
comments. He said, "I deleted your comment because it was a distraction." The fuck? And so that was bullshit. And then when I did question him, Mallary, he said, I forget what the first part of the comment said, but he's like, dot, 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 I'm sensing some darkness here. Talking about me. I, okay. That fucking Jim Jones textbook 101. Like, no, I'm good on that. So, there may
You
be,
also get into cults and shit too, because we know all about
uh,
that.
yeah,
Um,
that's what I'm saying. So anyway,
let's do a quick sign off. I'm at 5% and it's like very dim for me.
okay. Yeah, it's about that time. I think we got a good section in. So, that's a bit of our introduction. We're going to be bouncing around talking about a lot of things, and we love feedback. We love engagement. So let us know what you
Our
think.
episodes will be more contained, hopefully. Maybe.
Yeah,
I
this
can't
is
promise
just,
anything.
I just want people to get a vibe for who we are, how we talk, and kind of what we're aiming to do. So we
Yeah.
were a little all over the place, but we will have episodes that are more specific to those
Yes.
subjects, those topics. So
Well, I'm excited.
me too. So yeah, just give us some feedback. We love engagement, interact. That's awesome. And yeah, I guess
Till next time.
we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.